we played a portion of an interview. Jerry Jones does a weekly interview on the flagship station for the Dallas Cowboys, and he does that every Tuesday, 105.3 The Fan. I want to play you the question that was asked. I want to put everything in context here. So here's the question that was asked by the co-host to Jerry Jones.
Jerry, 1970, a little different from this past off season in building the team we're talking about today, which there was a lot of criticism that you guys didn't add, didn't spend, and don't add, and don't spend, and are not aggressive enough with some of the problems that are still haunting the Cowboys today that we see play out on the field. That's the point of talking about the offseason.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so Jerry then goes off on a tangent, but then he gets around to answering the question, and this is what it sounded like.
Oh, I remember those criticisms very well. Okay, so what?
Are they playing out to be accurate?
What's your point? What's your point? This is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why.
why.
A job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
So Shan and RJ, the morning show on the Cowboys flagship radio station, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. So RJ Choppy joins us on the program. How did that interview end, RJ?
We went into a couple of other topics, and we ended it as normal. Now, it went longer than normal. Usually they're about 15 minutes. This one went closer to a half hour. But, yeah, it ended – obviously less contentious than it was in that moment. But when it ended, we did know that that was not a normal Tuesday appearance from Jerry, which we've had almost 300 of them with him. It's been 14 years that we've done that interview with Jerry, basically the same time on Tuesdays, and we've never had anything like that.
Any follow-up from Jerry Jones after the interview, given the fallout from it?
No, not to us, and we haven't heard anything, and I'm sure that it would have been relayed to us had there been, but no. And we actually talked yesterday. We were wondering if he would call in today. He has an appearance Tuesday on the station and then Friday on the station. So we haven't heard from him. That may change as the week goes on, but as of now, no.
Did you take the threat seriously that you guys are interchangeable parts there on the flagship station?
No. I mean, everybody's interchangeable, I suppose, but
he seems serious, RJ.
It did seem serious, but we were sitting there wondering, was he talking about like removing us physically, or just he's going to just do his interview on another show on our station at a different time of day? Which, I mean, if he wants to do that, I mean, I suppose that's his prerogative. But no, our company, our bosses have been behind us. They've not said a word about that.
But your job is to, I mean, I don't know if he expects team-friendly questions. I don't know if you've ever felt the need to do that to him. It certainly didn't sound like when you said, hey, that's not my job. Your job is to ask questions that fans want answers to. Has he ever submitted questions or said you can't ask me about certain things?
He's never submitted questions. There was maybe one time, and I think this was 8-10 years ago. It was about week 3 or 4 of the Colin Kaepernick discussion that was going on, and we had asked him 3 and 4 weeks in a row about it, and they were just like, let's just move on from that and let's talk football this week. That's the only time. He's been great. Like that's why this was so surprising. He's never been sensitive. Of all the owners that we've dealt with in town, and even owners that we've had on from other markets, we've never had one that is more accepting of difficult questions. We don't get personal with them. That's like the one rule. Every media member here knows it. Don't talk family with them. Don't get personal. He's never had a problem with answering tough questions. When you're the owner and the GM and you put yourself out on radio twice a week, every week. It's hard to avoid those questions. To his credit, he's never had a problem with them. And that's what made this so like surprising and disappointing, to be frank.